The many victims of Tom Brady. And where better to start than with his biggest victim, Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe, quarterback.
Drew Bledsoe was supposed to be the face of the Patriots franchise for a decade. He was the first overall pick in 1993, armed with a cannon, a Pro Bowl pedigree, and a 10-year, $100 million contract that screamed job security. Then one hit in 2001 completely changed NFL history. Bledsoe took a brutal shot against the Jets, and a little-known 6th-rounder named Tom Brady jogged onto the field. At first, it felt temporary. Bledsoe healed, the team kept winning, but slowly the locker room shifted. Brady went 11-3 as a starter, controlled games without flash, and led New England deep into January. By the time Bledsoe returned healthy, he was already old news. Brady started the Super Bowl and won it, and the rest was history. Bledsoe was traded months later, and that was the end of it. The first victim to fall to Brady. He didn't lose his job because he played poorly too. He lost it because someone better appeared, which Brady had a knack of doing to his biggest rival as well, Peyton Manning.
Select quarterback, University of Tennessee, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning was everything scouts loved and analysts trusted. First overall pick, film junkie, record breaker, 5 MVP awards, and some of the most explosive regular seasons the league has ever seen. But whenever January arrived, one problem kept resurfacing: Tom Brady. The rivalry defined an entire era, but the balance of power was clear. Brady finished 11-6 head-to-head and eliminated Manning from Super Bowl contention in 2003, 2004, and again in 2014. Even when Manning put up better numbers, Brady walked away with the rings. The contrast became unavoidable. Manning dominated Sundays. Brady owned legacies. In the playoffs, Brady went 3-2 against him, including multiple AFC Championship wins that slammed windows shut. Every deep postseason run for Indianapolis seemed to end with New England standing in the way. Manning eventually won 2 Super Bowls, but the debate lingered forever. Could he have been the greatest of all time without Brady existing? That question never goes away. And that unanswered question is exactly why Peyton Manning remains one of Brady's biggest victims, Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb reached the Super Bowl carrying the weight of an entire city desperate for validation. Philadelphia had talent, confidence, and momentum, but Super Bowl 39 changed how McNabb would be remembered forever. Against Brady's Patriots, the Eagles' offense stalled at the worst possible moments, and McNabb looked strangely rushed late even as the clock bled out. New England won 24-21, and that single loss followed McNabb for the rest of his career. He was suddenly labeled unclutch, unprepared, and unable to finish on the biggest stage. But the truth is harsher. McNabb ran into a dynasty that specialized in suffocating opportunity. Brady didn't need a dominant stat line that night. He just needed control. McNabb never returned to the Super Bowl, and every deep playoff run afterward felt haunted by that one moment. Philadelphia eventually moved on and history hardened, but McNabb became the quarterback who almost did it, and that's the way he'll always be remembered. Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers built a career on toughness, volume, and defiance, but Tom Brady was the wall he could never climb. Rivers won 0-8 against Brady head-to-head, a stat that quietly defines everything. He played through a torn ACL in the 2007 AFC Championship, gutted and defiant, but still walked off the field completely eliminated. His Chargers teams were loaded, from LaDainian Tomlinson to elite defenses, but January always ended the same way. Brady standing tall and Rivers at home with nothing else to do but make another baby. Rivers piled up over 63,000 passing yards and 400 touchdowns, but he never reached the Super Bowl. He never even came close, and Brady was directly responsible for that. It wasn't about effort, it wasn't about heart for Rivers, because he had both. It was about legacy clashing with a player who was just so much better than him. The Atlanta Falcons. 28-3 isn't a score. It's a permanent scar in Matt Ryan's brain. The Falcons were quite literally minutes away from a championship. Not if Tom Brady had anything to say about it though. Down 25 points late in the third quarter, Brady methodically erased history, converting third downs, extending drives, and punishing every mistake. The Falcons unraveled, but Brady never rushed. He threw for 466 yards and led the greatest comeback the Super Bowl has ever seen. That game didn't just crown Brady as immortal, It rewrote Atlanta's entire identity. Matt Ryan won MVP that season, but his legacy for the year is completely about the Super Bowl loss. The Falcons never recovered. They haven't since. Coaches have been fired, rosters changed, and confidence evaporated. Every lead afterward has felt fragile, yet Brady walked off with his 5th ring, and Atlanta just with folklore. Championships elevate franchises, and collapses define them. And Brady authored the most infamous collapse of all time, the Legion of Boom. Seattle's defense entered that Super Bowl as the most intimidating unit of the decade, a group that thrived on fear, violence, and complete control. For most quarterbacks, the Legion of Boom dictated everything. But Tom Brady isn't just every quarterback. After a shaky start in the Super Bowl, he adjusted the pace, attacked underneath, and turned Seattle's aggression into a weakness instead of a weapon. Short throws stretched the defense horizontally, quick tempo wore them down, and panic never entered the picture. By the 4th quarter, a 10-point deficit disappeared as Brady threw 4 touchdowns and seized control of the game. That comeback forced Seattle into unfamiliar territory, trailing instead of suffocating. The final sequence sealed it. While it wasn't Brady that dealt the final blow, instead Malcolm Butler with the goal line interception, it doesn't change the fact that the Legion of Boom is another infinity stone of victims on Tom Brady's gauntlet. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback everyone called more talented than Brady. The arm strength, the efficiency, the pocket presence and awareness, even the highlight throws that looked impossible on replay. But the thing is, talent only carries weight until January steps in. In the 2020 NFC Championship, Rodgers finally shared a playoff stage with Tom Brady, and the moment exposed the difference between skill and control. Brady threw 3 early touchdowns, built a commanding lead, and forced Green Bay into playing tight instead of free. Rodgers had opportunities to swing the game back, but hesitation crept in, and conservative decisions took the ball out of his hands. Meanwhile, Brady kept attacking, even through mistakes, because pressure never changed his rhythm. One quarterback walked into his first season outside New England and reached another Super Bowl. The other walked off his own field watching it happen. While Rodgers owns 4 MVP awards, the second most in NFL history, it doesn't matter because Tom Brady won when it mattered. The AFC East. For 2 decades, the AFC East existed for one purpose: Tom Brady's punching bag. He won 17 division titles, and his dominance turned 3 franchises into afterthoughts. During Brady's tenure, the Jets cycled a quarterback practically every year, the Dolphins chased rebuilds that were never coming, and the Bills practically waited for retirement. Brady posted Hall of Fame numbers just against his division, racking up over 200 touchdowns and endless wins. Anytime a team showed promise, Brady crushed it quickly. Confidence never had time to grow, not in that division, because no team can thrive when greatness blocks every path forward. Brady didn't just beat the AFC East, he practically suffocated it, and only after Brady left did the division finally breathe again. His presence delayed rebuilds, ruined timelines, and drained belief. 3 franchises spent 20 years chasing relevance, while one quarterback ruled without resistance. Bill Belichick. The breakup settled a debate no one wanted answered. When Brady left New England, many believed Bill Belichick was the true engine behind the dynasty. Brady responded immediately by joining Tampa Bay, a team that hadn't sniffed relevance in years, and winning a Super Bowl in his first season. Belichick stayed, and the Patriots faded into non-existence. Losing seasons followed, playoff appearances vanished, and the mystique completely disappeared. Suddenly, the conversation flipped. Brady proved he could elevate anywhere. Belichick looked ordinary without him. The partnership was legendary, but the separation revealed uncomfortable truths. Brady didn't need the system needed Brady, and every loss in New England after his departure quietly strengthened his case. Belichick's legacy remained secure, but diminished. Brady walked away with confirmation. He wasn't a passenger, he was the driver, and the post-Brady Patriots made that impossible to deny. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was crowned early, but Tom Brady slowed the coronation. In the 2018 AFC Championship, Mahomes looked unstoppable, but Brady still controlled the moment, winning in overtime and denying him a Super Bowl appearance. 2 years later, The matchup returned on the biggest stage. This time, Brady dismantled Kansas City in the Super Bowl, winning decisively and collecting another ring at 43 years old. Mahomes played well, don't get us wrong, but it didn't matter. The message was clear. The throne wasn't vacant yet. Brady didn't stop Mahomes forever, of course, but he forced patience. Every Mahomes achievement is now measured against Brady's ruler stick. Rings are counted, timelines are compared, and pressure followed. Because Brady made sure the next era started late and under scrutiny from his greatness, adding the final victim to Brady's closet of skeletons. If you like this video, consider watching this next one, which YouTube thinks you're really gonna love.